So I did, but he didn't say anything. He's good. Okay. Ready?
All this
All this
council
council
meeting
meeting
to
to order at
6:02
6:02 p.m.
I
Need a motion for adoption
minutes,
please.
Resolved that the
Resolved that the minutes
minutes
of the regular meeting of
council
council held at City Hall on March 9th, 2020 be adopted as circulated.
Need a
Need
mover
a
and a
mover and a
seconder,
seconder, and if you're
moved by
moved
Councillor
by Councilor
Draycott and
Draycott,
seconded by
seconded by
Councillor
Councilor
Wall.
Wall.
All those in
All those
favor?
in favor?
And that's
And
carried.
that's carried.
We have no
We have
delegations.
no delegations
this
this
evening.
evening, however, we do have two
hearings.
hearings.
We'll open the
We'll
public
open the
hearing.
public
for
hearing for variation order PC 16-20. This is for Alexander Ophelia. Episode at 201 3rd Street Southeast. Is there anyone here to speak to the hearing?
Your Worship, I need to declare a conflict with this particular item. And how would you like me to handle that? Would you like me to just turn my camera off for a second, or my microphone?
We have to go pick the letter.
If I may, Your Worship, to Councillor SB, if you would turn your video and mic off, and I will text you when we're ready to resume.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Councillor Espy. Okay, there's no one here to speak to the hearing, so I need a motion to close the public hearing for variation PC
There's no letters to read either if you want to.
1620, and there are no letters for the record.
Be it resolved that the public hearing for variation order PC 1620 for Alexander and Ophelia Apicilla, 201 3rd Street Southeast, now be closed. And I so move.
Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Wall. All those in favor?
Gary.
Councillor Budge in favor.
Yes, in favor.
Councillor Knox? In favor?
Yep.
Okay, Council, from the Planning and Economic Development Committee, the issue at hand is to vary the following. It's a front yard requirement of 7.5 meters to be reduced down to 5.2 meters, and the rear yard requirement of 7.5 to be reduced to 1.25. Background, Alexander and Ophelia Apicilla are applying for a variation order to vary the following. As I mentioned, the front yard requirement to be reduced from 7.5 to 5.2, and the rear yard to be reduced from 7.5 to 1.25. So that you're aware, there's an existing variance on this property that did allow the following originally at north side requirement of 3.6 meters to be reduced down to 1.5 meters, and the rear yard requirement of 7.5 meters to be reduced down to 3.96. The minute reference is there for your reference. The new owners would like to remove the existing carport and construct a larger garage than initially applied, for that lines up with the front and of course the rear of the existing dwelling. There is a sketch there for your information as well. The building is in an R1 residential single family zone. It has been circulated to various city departments, and there have been no concerns. Public notices have been sent to all property owners with a 100-meter radius. And it trust as well, there's been no objections. None. So it's the administrative recommendation, and I so move that the council with the city of Portage la Prairie approve the variation request of Alexander and Ophelia Apicilla to vary the following. Front yard requirement of 7.5 meters to be reduced to 5.2, and rear yard requirement of 7.5 to be reduced to 1.25. The property known as 201 3rd Street Southeast, which is legally described as Lot 1, Block 14, on 21-428 the parish of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Draycott. Any questions or comments on the motion? None? All those in favor of the motion?
Yes.
In favor, and that's carried. We'll open the public hearing for second and third reading of bylaw 20-8703. This is PC 88-19. This is city zoning bylaw amendment. Is anyone here to speak to the hearing? There's nobody here to speak to the hearing. Entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Be it resolved, and I so move that the public hearing for bylaw 20-8703, PC 88-19, city zoning bylaw amendment.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor
Bud.
Butts. Okay, so noted. All those in favor of the motion?
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Okay, Council, in your report from the Planning and Economic Development Committee, this is for the second and third reading for a rezoning application. The issue, of course, is to rezone the property from AL Limited Agricultural Zone to M2 Heavy Industrial Zone. There is a schedule there for your reference as well. So the alternatives that we have underneath the Planning Act, and after considering the results of the public meeting, within the 90 days, we must choose one of three actions. So the first action, of course, is that council may give bylaw the second reading. So there's two situations under which that bylaw may be given second. Under section 75A, when there's no objections at the public meeting, we could give the bylaw second reading and third reading at the same meeting. Or under section 77, if there's any objections that are received, we may give the bylaw second reading, must provide notice to all objectors. Have there been any objections?
No
No.
letters.
No letters of objection.
So then, under section 73.1, for amending a zoning bylaw to be sufficient for the purposes of applying the sections, you need at least 25 eligible persons or the total number of owners of property within 100 meters of the affected property, and I trust we see none. Or the second one we can do is under section 74.2, we can make major changes to we do that, it has to be re-advertised, and then we do need a new public hearing. Or we can resolution not to proceed with the bylaw, and this would be done under section 75, and the council must send out the required notices. So the background in question is the property at part of parish lot 57 in the parish of Portage la Prairie. Currently, as we know, it's zoned AL or Agricultural Limited, which is the city of Portage, which rezoned this property to M2 Heavy Industrial. Now, the Portage Plan Development Plan policy states the following. So right from 16.1 to 16.9 for your information as to what what the planning document states. So with that said, the application has been circulated to the various city departments. There have been no concerns expressed. As required, we did have it advertised in the Daily Graphic for 2 consecutive weeks. It has been circulated in the province. Public notice has been sent to all owners, 100-meter radius, and I trust as well there's been no objections. So the first reading of this bylaw, as you might remember, was originally read January the 13th of 2020 to commence the process defined in the Planning Act. Documents were then circulated to provincial departments and agencies with no objections as well, and the provincial planning recommends approval of the zoning bylaw amendment number 20-8703. So with that said, it's my committee's recommendation, and I so move that the council of the city of Portage la Prairie approve the application to rezone the land known as part of parish 57, parish of Portage la Prairie from AL Limited Agricultural Zone to M2 Heavy Industrial. And that bylaw 20-8703 be read a second time.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Wall. Okay, so second by Councillor Wall. Any questions or comments on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion?
Yay.
That is carried. Thank you.
And then be it resolved, and I so move, that the bylaw number 20-8703 be read a third and final time, finally passed, signed, and sealed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Wall. All those in favor?
Yay.
And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into committee. First up is Finance Legislative Property Committee. Councillor Bunce, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development. Councillor Meyer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. The City Planning and Economic Development Committee has nothing to report.
Councillor Draycott, Community Services Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a reminder, and it is there again this evening, we did have a presentation from Travis Foster last committee meeting from the Rotary Club in Portage la Prairie, and they came to council just with a plan for the duck pond out on Island Park to be renamed Rotary Duck Pond if the project were to move forward, and just a revitalization of that area. It was a great presentation, and it is, of course, included in our council agenda this evening for anybody who had not had a chance to see it. And that's all for my committee.
Thank you, Councillor Draycott. Waterworks Committee, Councillor Wall.
Yes, Your Worship, a couple of things. There is the annual report for information only, which I covered at the last committee meeting. And the 2019 Public Water System Annual Report and Water Treatment Plant Data Report. I reviewed those reports in some detail, and it looks to me like our staff at the water treatment plant have done an exceptional job again of treating our water to a very high standard. Now I'm using the microphone. There we go. And so I would like to move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie accept the 2019 Public Water System Annual Report and the 2019 Treatment Plant Annual Data Report and forward the same to Manitoba Sustainable Development Office of Drinking Water, and authorize the administration to post the reports on the city website.
Moved by Councillor Wall and seconded by Councillor Draycott. Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor of the motion?
Yay.
Thank you. Transportation Committee, Councillor Espy, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just the one item that we, the 2019 Request for Service Database Report, and committee reviewed that report.
Okay, thank you.
Concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Espy. Public Safety Committee, Councillor Knox, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Public safety has nothing for tonight in council.
Thank you. We have no deferred business, no new business, and no old business. So council is going to adjourn at 6:15 p.m. We're going to move right into committee. Call committee to order at 6:16 p.m. First up is Finance Legislative Property Committee. Councillor Bunce, did you have anything to report?
No, I do not, Your Worship.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development Committee, Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing to report.
Community Services Committee, Councillor Draycott.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing for Community Services Committee this evening.
Waterworks Committee, Councillor Wall.
Nothing on the agenda, Your Worship. I would like to make a couple of comments. At a time like this, when public health is on everybody's mind, one of the most important things for maintaining public health is a good water supply and proper wastewater treatment Over the last century, we've pretty much eliminated waterborne diseases in first world countries because of the advances in water treatment and wastewater treatment. And I'd like to thank the staff at the water and wastewater plant for the excellent job they're doing. And also, Carly asked me to remind people about flushable wipes. They're not to be flushed. I have had personal experience with a flushable wipe jamming a 45 horsepower pump. They are tough and they're not meant to be flushed. Please throw them in the garbage. The way she put it across to a school class the other day was poop, pee, paper. And that's all I have.
Well, thank you, Councillor Wall. I think we'll all remember that because of the order. Transportation Committee, Councillor Espy, please.
I wish I had something to follow that, but I do not. Transportation Committee has nothing to report.
Okay, tough act to follow. And Councillor Knox, Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing on the agenda tonight, but I just would like to reiterate that being involved in some meetings with our COVID team at the city, understanding that the city is doing the best they can to follow all of the recommendations from our provincial government and our federal government when it comes to safety and when it comes to social distancing, as well as isolation rules. Wow, I must have typed it 100 times this week, not actually said it. And that we just want to reiterate to our citizens that we need to follow these rules. We need to be part of flattening the curve. We still hear reports in our community from businesses that people may be not getting the message. So I'm going to take the time here now to say that this is a very serious issue and that people need to listen to the experts, need to listen to our health people and stay home. Stay home unless it's absolutely necessary. We want to be a community that fights back, and we can do this. So let's do this all together. And thank you to our administration who are working so hard and our city employees who are following the rules and regulations. We can get through this together. We got through the ice storm in the fall. We can get through this too. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Knox. Well said. So committee is adjourned at 6:19 p.m.
Understand.